The Beef and Barnzy Show, brought to you by Bowlersmart.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowlers Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Road to Grit, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Happy New Year! The Beef and Barnzy show is back. Despite what you may have heard, we're not breaking up. Ryan has started his own YouTube channel, and I know that that's caused a little bit of confusion because he has gone with Barnzy Bowling. Now, in his defense, Barnzy is his nickname, not Chris's. So I guess Chris kind of stole his nickname, and Junior stole it back. So check Ryan out at Barnzy Bowling. So that clears up the first thing. I know that I've had a couple of phone calls about that, but no, me and Chris aren't going our separate ways. We are pounding on for 2023. Thank you so much to all of you guys who watched the videos in December. We had our best month ever on YouTube. We're rapidly getting up to 15,000 subscribers, which is very cool. So thanks for that. Keep spreading the word. Anybody watching, do you want to say hello? I'm starting to get paranoid. I've got no hellos in the chat, and we normally have. So it makes me feel like I might have screwed something up. So let me know where you're listening from, what you did for New Year. There we go. Hey, Rob, what's going on? Hey, Eric, nice to see you. So, hey, John, Happy New Year. There we go. Wakey. Nice to see you all. Kevin. Oh, Virginia. Nice. Hello. Hello and Happy New Year, Cody. Joe. Brian, nice to see you again. There we go. Back in nice community. So yeah. Hey, Derek, what's going on, buddy? How's the foot doing? Yeah. So Mark, Happy New Year to you. Hey, Jim, Kevin. Nice to see you again. Chad, David, Matthew, Terry, 3G's B's, and hello to you too. So yes, welcome back, Nico. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had a nice trip to England, nice relaxing trip. My fingers weren't thanking me when I started trying to bowl on New Year's Day again. 2 weeks off felt like an eternity. A lot of the things that I remembered what to do, I've now forgotten. So got to get back on track with that. Yes, yeah, I guess so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. See how dedicated Ryan is to it. Yeah. So you get to see. We can have it as the Beef and Barnzy two-handers channel. I'm sure Ryan's going to be doing a lot more stuff that is fun for the younger generation. Me and Chris, we're going to stay with you fuddy-duddies. So you went bowling on New Year's Day in Colorado. Do you have snow in Colorado right now? The RPI started yesterday, the senior version. Didn't really get to see much of it, but I saw that they've got the bracket coming up. Hey, Frank, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, get well soon. Hey, Nico. Yes, I did throw the absolute a little bit, but there was a couple of caveats. It came in 16. So that caused me a little bit of an issue. Just 1 second. Right. It came in 16 and I just changed over to 15 because I hadn't updated my preferences. So that caused me a little bit of an issue. So I only threw it a little bit. I found a lot of the same things that Chris did. So I didn't really spend that much time putting the review together because Chris had done the review and I didn't really have anything different to add. So that's kind of why we didn't do it. Now, I may well go through because I bowled on a couple of different shots than Chris did. I may well go through this week and try and put together some of this footage I've got and chat nicely about it because people seem to like that. The Revenant is arriving today. So that's the one I'm really going to focus on getting a video up on because Chris's is also arriving today, but he's in Vegas watching Ryan bowl. So, like I say, he's going to be away for probably another week. So it's going to be a little difficult for him to get a review up. So you're probably going to have to suffer me on the Revenant. I know how much you guys love Chris and the reviews that Chris does. So, hello, Mrs. Chapman. That's AJ's mom is wingman. Doesn't look like he needs a wingman right now. He looks like he's all cozied up. So, plenty of snow in Colorado. Yeah, let me know. Send me an email, beefandbarnzy@gmail.com. Let me know. Happy New Year, Stephen. What's going on, Don? How was the over-under tournament? We did pretty well. We ended up getting up to third place. I've been uploading almost all of the videos from the matches. I just finished putting together the last three games together, the last three matches. So if you head over to the if you're on the YouTube channel, or if you're not, head over to the YouTube channel, check it out. We've got, I think, probably 5 or 6 videos from out there. And you can see how we did. I found the round robin a little easier than Chris did. We didn't find a solution for Chris quick enough between us because in doubles you kind of going back and forth, and I had a pretty good look for the majority of it. Chris was a little up and down, but overall, third place, solid but not spectacular, I think. Yes, Nico, I believe the Spectre is the direct replacement. I think it's basically the same ball, just a different finish. So if anybody knows different, you can correct me. Hey, Eric, my Cool Wit discount code is BeefStew10. So please use that. Spread the word. I finished up my Cool Wit shirts today. I am going to have the throwback. I'm going to have a version of the Union Jack shirt coming back out. So trying that one. I mean, originally I had the St. George's Cross, but we've got a Union Jack shirt, and then I've got the design I've got right now, and I added a black and white version. So should see those fairly soon. Infinite Physics, does it need polish for a medium angular? Mine is kind of slow, about 5 gauge. Yeah, you can do. I think that the thing about the Infinite Physics for me is it's super continuous. So yeah. The Fate is closer to the Spectre. Well, the Revenant has the same cover and the same core as the Spectre, so I'm not sure about that. The Fate is very good, though. I am starting to understand exactly where it fits. I did what we've been talking about. I took the reactor gloss off it. I finished it with step 2, and to me, it fits quite nicely underneath my Zen. When my Zen gets a little bit slow, it burns up a little bit. I go straight into the Fate. As you can see in a couple of the videos, the Zen looks fantastic, and then it doesn't. And as soon as it doesn't, the Fate really comes in and is, really good option for me. So I'm hoping that the Revenant gives me another option below the Fate, because right now the Night Road isn't really fitting that gap for me. I much preferred the Night Road in 16. I've got to have a little bit of a play with it. I think it might end up having to be a shiny ball for me now. I don't think the 4K fast is as good. with it being so much higher RG and so much less diff. So yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, trendsetter. Happy new 365. Yep, thanks, man. Is that the new way to say Happy New Year? Oh my god. By the way, is anybody watching Monday Night Football last night? Oh my god, that poor guy. Holy shit. So fingers crossed for him. That was really scary. Now I have drilled my first ball of 2023 though. I was super excited about this one, and it disappointed me a little bit. I drilled it. I had to. I couldn't help myself. I drilled the Sunstorm. I drilled it. There she is. There she is. So it brought back memories. It going down the lane, it looking clean as anything. And then after about, I don't know, 4 or 5 shots, it started to become filthy and black. But yeah, spec cover still isn't my favorite. It reminded me a lot of the ProMotion. When I kept my speed down, it was really good. But if I kind of sped up a little bit, not so much. It did kind of miss the spot a little bit for me. I probably should have drilled it a little bit stronger. I went with a 5 1/4 inch pin, which was similar to the IQ Tour I had, and yeah, it might become a shelf ornament. I'll probably take it to the US Open with me, but I'm just a little bit afraid to polish it because it came quite shiny and it really didn't hook very much at all. And then I kind of touched the surface with maybe like a 1,000 pad, and then it was decent. But the lanes were quite tight last night. And I think it needs a little bit more friction than that. So we'll see. I'm definitely not casting it to a side straight away, but I definitely saw the spec cover, and I didn't really match up that well with spec cover when it first came out, and kind of felt like that again. So yeah, I did it. Had to do it. Just change the surface on the night road to 2000 and polish much better. Your thoughts? Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah, that's kind of what I think I'm going to end up having to do with mine. Of course, in 16, the diff and the RG is way lower and the diff is way higher. So it's actually a ball that's much closer to the Zen in 16 pounds. So it makes a little bit more sense it having that surface on it. For me in 15, I feel like I need to move it way down the bag and have it shiny. So, but I did steal a 1500 grit polish high road pearl from my dad when I was at home in 15 pounds. So I'm excited to drill that. I've got that one, an older high road pearl. So that should be fun. Just trying to build the arsenal, getting ready for the US Open. I'm kind of looking forward to using the 15 pounders in Indianapolis because I haven't done particularly well there recently. Well, ever. I think one good result there. Lots of friction there, so hopefully the 15 pounders gives me something I can get a little bit through the front a little easier. So. Not sure what you mean there. But yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've got a plan for some content coming up. I think that this year we're gonna get Chris to review every ball that comes out, regardless. Everything. Maybe even Tropical Surge. Probably not multiple colors of the Tropical Surge, but yeah, I think we're gonna get Chris to we're gonna get Chris to do it. So we'll see. What'd you say, Matthew? What compares to the exotic gem? I mean, for me, probably Infinite Physics is in that same sort of range. X3, I think probably the X3 is the closest for me. There you go. Patrick Drombarski says the purple tropical surge is the answer. Well, it is purple, I guess. You should make Chris do a 500 grit tropical surge just for the weirdness. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that would do. Let me quickly have a look. Somebody asked me if I'd got on to doing the shirt for Luis yet. No, but that's definitely on my agenda for next week. They're just, like I say, they are trying to get all of the shirts settled for the new 2023 PBA season. And I'm not sure that's that high on the list of priorities right now, but I will definitely get some horror show out to Luis. What's the best move when your ball can't get through the fronts and clean balls are leaving 10 pins? No matter how far left you move, you keep leaving three. You keep leaving three on the right. To me, that sounds like the clean balls are getting a little bit behind it. So what you really need to do is you really need to take the cleaner balls and have more of a forward roll. That's if it's a ring 10. If it's a flat 10, then it's the opposite. It depends which 10 pin you're leaving. If you're leaving it where the 6 pin's laying in the gutter, then you probably need a little bit more axis rotation so you can get the ball to come so it doesn't burn up as much. If you're leaving the 10 pin where the 6 pin goes up in the air and around, then you probably needed to make the ball hook just a little bit earlier, and be a little bit smoother. So try and have the forward roll from those angles, and that should help out a little bit. A lot, principally. It really depends, though, because it depends how far it's off and how accurate you need it to be, because everything is relative. So if you're within like half an inch, quarter of an inch, then it's probably not going to make that much difference relative to each ball. But it is going to make a difference if you know how much, say, I don't know, let's pick something like, say, an IQ Tour. IQ Tour doesn't have that much diff. If you drill that and you're actually half an inch out and you're drilling it half an inch weaker than you think you're drilling it. So if you think you're drilling like a 5 1/4 inch pin and you're actually drilling a 5 3/4 inch pin, or you're drilling a 4 3/4 inch pin, then you've got a huge difference. So yeah, having that, having it mapped, it's very important. I would consider getting the pro shop to map your axis point probably once a year, maybe. Or if you feel like when you're looking at the ball, the oil's visually in a different place than you would expect it to normally be, then that's the time to start asking questions. Because, like I say, if your track changes quite a bit and you're not really keeping up with it, you can end up with some layouts that really do some funky things, especially depending on if you add tilt or lose tilt, because then suddenly pin above the fingers balls, if you're down, are going to be super long pins, and vice versa. If you're up, the pin down balls. So there's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, probably once a year, have them check your axis point, especially if you're going to drill a couple of balls. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do. Happy New Year, Joe. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Adam, what's going on? Happy New Year. Matt, currently have a reality check. Do you think the infinite physics also fits in typical house shot bag or too close in ball motion? So for me, I like having both. But I mean, I can use the infinite physics on almost everything. So having the reality check in the bag as well. Now, I drill the reality check a little weaker because I think that if you drill a little weaker, I feel like it's a little cleaner and then it comes off it hard. Whereas when I had it drilled stronger, like I have the infinite physics, I felt like it got forward very quickly. So I didn't really like it in that regard. So Hey man, nice going. What's a good house shot ball? It 100% depends because no two house shots are the same. Like, some guys put on a lot less oil, and then if you've got a lot less oil, then you're probably looking at something like, a hustle camo might be a good ball. But if you're playing in a place that has, like where we bowl, we have quite a bit of oil in the middle of the lane, so you can use the asymmetrical balls. And like last night, I messed around with the Zen and the Sunstorm. I had 207 running into the 10th. I switched to the Infinite Physics. I got 3 in the 10th. I had the front 8 spare sheet 278, front 5 spare sheet 279. So, I mean, I changed the Infinite Physics. I got out the symmetrical balls, and I shot, 550 the last two. So it really depends. Like a couple of weeks ago in the same house, I bowled really good with the Zen. So it's so dependent on what you're bowling on that night. I think that the worst thing you can do is consider house shot to be one thing, because there's tight house shots. There's ones where you need to go straighter. There's ones where you need to hook it. Like some places it's good to play the dry. Some places it's good to play the oil. So a lot more goes into it than that. But usually your local pro shop guy can really help you out with that, because they know uh, which ones are popular at the time, in that center, and they're always the go-tos. Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble with oil line way off. Just came back after 30 years and blew my hip out already. Oh man, Jeff, I feel for you. Maybe the trend right now is to try a little bit of a lighter ball. Maybe that's part of it. And also, after coming back, did you get a new ball, or did you try using one of the ones you already had? Because getting your fit changed having been off for that long is probably going to be pretty crucial. Even for you guys coming back after the Christmas break, if you had a couple of weeks off, maybe go in the pro shop, get some tape, either tape that goes on your thumb or tape that goes in the ball, because especially in the colder places, your thumb shrinks a little bit, and then you're in a lot of trouble. You see people smashing the ball into the foul line because it just dropped off the thumb. So tape is always a good thing to have, especially if you end up taking a couple of weeks off. Stu, a local tournament has put out 37 feet, 28 mils, and a 1.64. Wow, that's pretty tough. Any type of ball or layout I can try other than using urethane? Yeah. Probably like the smoothest balls you've got are going to be the go-tos on this. So with it being 28 mils, depending on how bad the surface is, a gem might be an option. That's a really smooth piece. Yeah. So just go through your bag, try and find the balls with the smoothest. You might want to use a little more surface also, because on 37 feet, you're going to need something to slow it down the lane. So consider that for sure. What are you saying, Jeff? All new. I go to guy, one in PA and one in Michigan. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. As long as you got your fit change, because that can be a big problem. I was bowling with a guy who hadn't bowled for 3 years and he was dropping everything. We got him to put a piece of tape on his thumb, and then suddenly he went from no strikes to at least getting some strikes. So okay. All right. Well, it looks like you're covering most of the bases then. Advice to stop turning hand to outside of the ball at the top of the swing. Think about how you bring the ball back. So what happens a lot of the time is, if you pull it back, you kind of, like, if you imagine, you can pull up with your thumb and you get on the outside of the ball. So really, like, focus on the direction of your push away, and like almost try and open your hand up a little bit on the way forward, because what you do on the way forward affects what you do on the way, what it does on the way back. So that would be my best guess. Without really seeing you on the lane, it's a little difficult. Right. Okay. Hypothetically, in a telecast in which you are the higher position, are you allowed to practice on the championship pair to negatively affect the pattern for a two-hander? How could you do this? Well, in general, we don't get enough practice that you'd be able to do that. But back in the day, Mika they bowled on a long pattern, and Mika took a sanding disc to his ball and kind of bowled in the middle of the lane to stop Belmo being able to bowl in the middle of the lane, and kind of forced everybody back to the right. So that's one thing you can do. It's really difficult because trying to find something that you can do that doesn't hurt you but hurts them, you've got to be able to play straighter is pretty much the only answer to that. And it really depends on the pattern again, because if you're bowling on a shorter pattern, does it really help? Because they're just going to use a urethane ball anyway. So yeah, okay, we'll get after it. Okay, man. All right, take it easy. Yeah, I'll see you at Snowman. It sounds like that's going to be fun as well. Um, I've no idea, Adam, because I don't know what your axis point is. It isn't really pin under the middle or pin under the ring. It really depends on what your axis point is. Gem. Well, the infinite's the answer, but I haven't thrown the gem pearl, so I've no idea, to be honest. Um, um, hey Dan, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Been thinking about an exotic gem. Where do you think the exotic fits between the phase 2 and the Zen? I think it's going to be above both, to be honest. Um, I think the exotic gem, even though it's shiny, is pretty early. So I would say it'd probably be stronger than both of those. I have a gem phase 2, UC2. Would the Revenant or Fate be good additions? Yeah, I mean, I think the Fate would probably be the better option. I haven't thrown the Revenant, so it's hard for me to make a recommendation. But hopefully today, fingers crossed. The last update was that FedEx had it out for delivery today, so hopefully they come through. Screen balls, yeah, exactly. Where is Barnzy? Barnzy is in Vegas, and he is staying at the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast has no reception whatsoever. So um, he's going to try and figure out something for Thursday's show so that he can join us and dispel the public myth that we've broken up. We actually finally made a few bucks last month, so I doubt he's going to run anywhere. I have a UFO alert, Zen, and X2. How would exotic fit in? Again, it would probably be above all of those. So yeah, it would be the strongest of the three. Yeah, we haven't, but I explained earlier. Coolwick are super busy. They claim they do, but at Gold Coast, the Wi-Fi is absolutely atrocious. It's one of those things where it's like it's so bad that it's embarrassing that they say they have Wi-Fi because it doesn't exist. It's awful. Well, thanks, man. Happy New Year to you too. I recommend everyone join a sports shot league. Yeah, I mean, I recommend everybody has a good time. I don't particularly enjoy sport league, but I can see if you don't get your competitive juices flowing in tournaments, that it could be an option. Fate versus Den. Zen is both earlier and stronger overall. I'm planning on getting the Rotary Hustle. Which one should I get? Really depends. I know I answer that with every question, but if you're looking for a cleaner, weaker ball and the wine, if you're just looking for something that's a little weaker but smooth, and then you're probably looking at the Hustle USA. Yeah, he's not stupid, mate. He's tried a few options, and trust me, it's very challenging over in that area to get it done. Yeah, Vegas isn't really wanting you to spend much time in your room using the Wi-Fi, so they make it as awkward as possible. So we'll get something sorted. Low revs, 285, low speed, typical house shot. What ball would you recommend? Thanks. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with the Zen most times. I like the Zen for that. Local Boca and Vegas balls and regular. All the Boyd casinos have Wi-Fi, but my cell service is miles better. Yeah. Yeah. Have a Nova 1 3/4 inch valve and another similar hybrid of Columbia speed with a 4-inch valve. I don't see much difference. How do you make them different options in my bag? I would add surface to the speed. Make the speed duller, and I think and then maybe polish the Nova, and then you'll separate them more. But that's the direction I go. Hey William, did you make any progress with that claim on the when you had your bag stolen in Houston? The hotel, yeah, they want you at the tables, that's for sure. Well, this month we are going to have we're going to try and keep up getting the content out, because it seems like people have been really liking the content and following for more content. So we're going to keep doing that. We've got some matches coming from the Snowman. I'm on with AJ Chapman this weekend. So hopefully we can make a deep run, and we'll get some matches up from there. That's always pretty entertaining. We're going to have some stuff on the Revenant this month. I'm trying my best to get Chris to come down here so we can film once a month, so that we can create content in one go and then have that spread across the month, like a couple of big channels do. We are definitely going to have some Revenant content. I've ordered one for my wife, so I'm looking to have a match between me and her. Trying to get that taped. Me and Chris are going out to California. We're going to spend some time with Mark Baker, so I will probably try and put something together on that trip. Just showing you Baker's new facility, what he's got, all the cool things he's got going on. We might even see if Baker will give away a video lesson to one of you guys. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's just some of the things. We're probably not going to go into the vlog business, definitely not going to go into the vlog business. I just don't really enjoy making that content, and I'm not sure how much people feel like they're along for the ride with Chris, being as he's made 180 TV shows, has the Triple Crown. Yeah. I don't think it's a positive experience following Chris around. The most entertaining content will probably be when he's pissed off. So, and we're not doing that. Is the Phase 5 weaker or stronger than the Zen? It is weaker. What do you think of the Absolute? Not really a huge fan so far. For me, I don't necessarily need a ball with that. Like, I think I needed to drill it stronger. The one I had, I'm not a fan of the one I laid out. I did my kind of standard 5.5-inch pin, 4.5-inch mass bias. And I think that with the mass bias being so strong and the cover being kind of clean, the weight block was kind of fighting with the cover. And I probably should have gone stronger with the pin, weaker with the mass bias. If I'd have done a 4.5-inch pin and a 5.5-inch mass bias, that might have been a bit better. As a two-hander, should I use definitely use 2LS, 100%. And if you check out, I think Chris Vi did a video on that this week. So I don't know how good it is because I didn't watch it. But if you check out, I think the YouTube channel they're using now is TV Bowling Supply. So if you check that out, maybe that'll give you some insight into a really good player, two-handed player who uses the 2LS system. Obviously, it's not something that I need to do, but check that out. None of the stuff will be said. The only thing auto insurance covers is the vehicle. Truck is in the shop getting work done. Oh, that sucks. Does the UK have comparable tournaments to the US team trials? No, they don't. Hey Beef, I have an X2 pinned down. How can I get this ball to not hook so hard on the back end? Probably just using a little bit of surface. Maybe hit it with like 2000. That should smooth it off a little bit. Yes, a guy who achieved a lot, who doesn't really get talked about nearly as much as he should do. By all accounts, he was a true gentleman and a really nice guy. So, rest in peace, Dave. I would never use a 6 3/4 inch layout on a flat pattern. I mean, I'd never use a 6 3/4 inch pinner anyway, because the problem is 6 3/4 is like using a 0-inch pin. That's like right on the edge. So if you release it slightly differently, the amount of hook or not hook that you can create it's really unstable. And 6 3/4 inches is like super weak. So any oil that gets down the lane is just going to be a disaster on a flat pattern. I've no idea really. Seek out a local coach is your best bet. It's all about you've got to hit the same target all the time. You've got to really focus on improving your approach, because if you end up in a different spot, it doesn't really help. Because if you end up 3 boards further left, but you hit your target, you're going to miss by miles to the right, even though you hit your target at the arrows. If that kind of makes sense. So because you just get the angle wrong. So your footwork is really important for accuracy. Okay, yeah, we'll look at that. That's definitely something I do. Chris's format right now, where he just takes the ball out and he chats with you guys, seems to be going quite well. So we're going to stick with that. But yeah, I'll definitely look towards that. Yeah, I believe he's going to do the camp bakes again. So yeah. I don't have any insider information on that. Nope. Sorry. And if I did, I couldn't tell you because they Schlemdog would shoot me. Some content with bakes. Yeah. We probably don't have time to film a bunch of like stuff like that. And I'm not sure that Mark necessarily wants to give all his secrets away to our YouTube channel. But yeah, we'll definitely try and think something through for that. It's probably going to be more just a showcase of what's going on over there, showing us a few of the things that he's working on with me and Chris. Yeah, it's going to be more like that. It won't really be, hey, how do I keep my left hand out or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, why do I keep missing left? Yeah, we're not going to have time for that because literally Mark is working on the Wednesday. Me and Chris are flying in Wednesday and we're flying out at like, I don't know, 5 o'clock on Thursday. So we've got like 1 day to get, Mark's got 1 day to work with me and Chris. So that's kind of the deal. So it'll just more be videos about what the place is like and what Mark helped us with. Yeah, well, it's all about promotion. Like, basically, the reason why people are on staff, like when it comes down to it, there's lots of shit that goes around it, but basically, what it comes down to is can you help Storm or Brunswick or Motive sell bowling balls? So that's why so many pro shop guys are on staff. It's not because people think that they're a fantastic bowler. It's because they directly deal with the customer and their recommendations lead to sales. So that's why, sometimes you got to be a little bit careful. Like, if you go in and you want one thing and the guy talks you into another thing, sometimes it's because he's trying to be a good dude. And sometimes it's because he has an affiliation with that company. So just be a little bit careful, but that's basically what it comes down to. Principally, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, you should, I'm not going to tell you should go out and buy a Brunswick ball. Well, A, that would be very stupid because I have a relationship with Storm, and B, I don't throw it, so I don't know. I'm also not gonna sit here and say, oh my god, having balls from different companies is a terrible idea, because I personally don't think it is. I think having a little bit of a mixture is a good thing. So, like I say, just take everything that you hear with a pinch of salt and listen a lot of the times to exactly what people are saying, because sometimes they're telling you not to get this ball, but they can't say this ball's bad. Now, it might be that the ball isn't bad, it just doesn't fit the gap that you want. So you really have to understand where you want the ball to and not fall in love with one ball. Like, unless it's the infinite physics, because then you can fall in love with that one. But apart from that, just like I say, listen to what people say in videos. J.R. Raymond does a fairly good job. He's pretty technical with some of the stuff he does, and like I like some of the stuff he does. Darren is much more on the entertainment side. Yeah, like I say, if you want more absolute content, I know that Darren's done one. I know that Luis Napolis has done. He had 2 different absolutes, so he might have drilled the most. And I think Luke Rosedale has his videos up, so just check them out. Like, once you start to hear the same thing from 2 or 3 different styles, then it kind of gives you an idea of, maybe that's exactly what the ball does. Yeah, you're probably right. If they make the lanes easy enough, anybody can strike. Thanks for answering. No problem. Chris Vice too he summarized a lot of Alex Hopkins' videos. Yeah, anything that Alex Hoskins said is usually spot on the money. Alex is a really smart dude. Any advice for a house shot that is really wet outside? It feels like I'm bowling on a sports shot, but I average higher even at hard tournaments than I do at the home house. Sounds like you're just you've got a little bit too much angle through the front. I would focus on shutting your angle down, moving right until you find some friction to the right, and then really trying to roll it. That's what I would do from that. Yes, he does. Like I say, I don't have any reason to have any interest in 2LS. I'm not a ball rep. I don't help any two-handers. I don't drill in a pro shop. So I don't really know anything about 2LS. I kind of know the principles, but I don't have any interest in learning. My son's tournament bag, he has a Purple Hammer, Axiom, X1, X3, Infinite Physics, Dark Code, Wolverine, and a Hustle Wrap. Should we touch you all the different surfaces? And then is that the order? That looks pretty good for the order, I would say. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty solid. Chris Vader, as a one-hander, still helped me understand how drilling affects the numbers. Okay. Would an exotic gem be a good step down from a reality, or would the infinite be better? I prefer the infinite, but the exotic gem's still pretty good also. Also, how many PBA formats are there? I know the regionals all have the set standard format, but they actually don't. In the regionals, we sometimes play modified round robin. We sometimes play full round robin. The RPI, the RPI, the RPI actually has a bracket format, so they're all a little bit different. I have bowled it in the past, so it really depends on the finances of the whole trip. So we'll see, maybe. Yes, yeah. We as part of the top 50. I will be bowling the very last squad. So if you want to bowl with me, just throw the entry in. These Storm videos help explain the pin to pap, how 6 isn't really helping core to do the work yet. Okay. Good question. I think the proton physics is a little stronger for me. I think it picks up a little earlier. I think the supernova is probably a little bit sharper, even though they're both really smooth. What will Mark help me with? Well, we'll probably just continue on the work we did in Maine. But sometimes you don't know what you're doing wrong until somebody with pretty good eyes shows you. But since I've made the change to 15, I've been liking what I've been doing. So hopefully he can give me some keys to being a little more consistent and erasing some of those bad shots. Knowing why you have a bad shot kind of helps you, because then when you do it, you can kind of focus on not doing it, if that sort of makes sense. Hi Stu, can you talk a little bit about balls for short and long patterns? Yeah, I mean, really, on short patterns, you're looking for balls that you can get to pick up into a roll and then be very forward, because you can control it more. And then as it goes, the more games you get in, the more the oil carries down, the more you can go to like slightly more normal, quicker response balls, because then you can like open up your patterns. So urethane, gems, phase twos, things like that are going to be good for that. Now, on the long pattern, for me, it really depends on how the front part of the lane is for the long pattern, because really you want to be using, in my mind, you're going to be looking for hold on long patterns. So really using like cleaner balls to play shim can be very useful on those patterns. It's very easy to want to use a shit ton of surface. Sometimes that works, but in general, on a longer pattern, I really feel like the closer you can keep it to the head pin, the better. What ball are you running as I get older? I mean, I don't know. The two balls I really like for almost everybody are the Infinite Physics and the Zen. So maybe one of those. Ask an older guy on tour. Cool, go for it. Doesn't really affect me. So hopefully he makes all his money doing that. How's the game? For me, it's way smoother than the UFO alert. I'm not sure I've seen them. I don't necessarily. For me, I wouldn't go with a pin in the center for a urethane ball. I don't think that's the way forward. Yo, Stu, got a brand new upper, only threw a couple of times when I first got it, so the layout is old. Plan to get it re-drilled. Would this be a good compliment to my fate? Yeah, I mean it'll be a step down from the fate for sure. Change my son's 200 much more response. Yeah, no, the 2LS stuff is pretty cool. Favorite ball from 2022, personalized Cosmos. Favorite ball for me is easily the Infinite Physics. It's not even close. Yeah. All right, Adam, good job. Yes, I used 16 pounds for about the last 12 years. So, yeah. Matt Ogle, welcome. How do you feel about the US Open being as the first tour stop? I appreciate the USBC running it. I don't appreciate the way they run it. So, I mean, it's probably my least favorite tournament of the year now. So, to be honest, it's in one of my least favorite bowling centers. So, I really don't care, to be honest. I kind of get where you're coming from. It would be nice if we could have a couple of build-up tournaments to it. But at the same time, for me and in my situation with Christmas and everything else, the later that the tour season starts, the better. So if we had to have that TV date for the US Open, like if that was set in stone, I would prefer that we started with the US Open rather than we started 2 weeks earlier with two other events, if that makes sense. Because for me, getting prepared after Christmas is the hardest thing. So I understand that nothing's as simple as it ever seems. So, like I say, for me, it's obviously not ideal to start with one of the biggest tournaments of the year. But if we're going to start with one major, that would be the one that I prefer because, like I say, that's my least favorite. Hey, Stu, do you know when the schedule would come out? The schedule's out.
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
Siri thought I said Siri, not Stu. Yeah, that's what you doing. What Norm Duke does is never the answer, I don't think. The ABT has the reality as one of the boards you can get for $100 in their national. For does this create an overlap in my bag? Gen Nova X1 X2 as my exponentials. Yes, probably. I mean, but if I could get reality for $100, I'd be getting it. A urethane ball right now. This question's kind of like, you know, there's so many different answers that I could give because it's all dependent on how you bowl, what you bowling on, what type of short pattern. Like there isn't really a straight answer to that question. I'm sorry. A good step up from an X1, a reality. Just thoughts. Yeah, X1. The step up from that would be a gem, a reality, or a supernova. Any of those three would be a good step up from there. It's fascinating how well you're able to put together fragments of complete sentences and make sense of unfinished questions. Well, you know, I kind of get the idea of what people are trying to ask. So, all right, guys. Well, I can't believe you've managed to keep me being able to entertain you for 50 minutes, but I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing up. Happy 2023. Hopefully a better year for both me and Chris. I mean, Chris would struggle to have a better year on the senior tour, but hopefully we can make some noise on the regular PBA. Going into this year, we are looking to get out more content. Please, please, please hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends to hit the subscribe button. It seems like people really only respect the channel when it's got more subscribers. We're doing fantastic with views. So many good, so many successful videos. So please keep subscribing. Please keep watching. I will see you down the road. Take it easy. Thanks to all the sponsors who continue to support us. They are Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, Coolwick, Bowlers Mart, Vice, Turbo. Thanks. Back again. My number one sponsor, my first sponsor. Firelight Bowling Center, going to be there on Friday. Bowling the Snowman. Sounds like it's going to be the ultimate shit show again this year. So excited for that. Lightning Strikes and Platinum Ford. With that, everybody, take it easy. Have a nice week. We will see you on Thursday. Take it easy. Bowl great. Strike up a storm. Take it easy. Bye.